Grand Rising family. Welcome to my channel, Wake Up Time 369, where we talk about everything metaphysical, esoteric, and spiritual to help you get to that place of healing and self-love. So let's talk about healing. And we've already discovered that to heal means to make sound again or create a state of well-being. Well, healing is really about figuring out who you were before this world and the trauma ruined you. It's about getting back to that free-spirited child that you were before you got destroyed by this false world that we're all forced to live in. So when it comes to the healing, so we have different wounds, different levels of wounds. Some are more superficial, some cut a little bit deeper. And so when you have more of a superficial wound, that's going to heal. It's probably not going to even leave a scar, and you may even forget about it, but when the wound cuts a little bit deeper than that, it can sometimes leave a scar. Your muscle may hold the memory of that wound. And what we really have to learn when it comes to the healing is we have to learn how to coexist with the trauma that we've experienced. So yeah, the deep wound, it heals, but it leaves a scar on it because it was so deep. And so healing is really about learning how to exist now with that scar that you have. And so with that scar, there are certain things that may trigger you that will remind you of that scar. So let's say you got stabbed deep by a knife and it left a scar on you. You had to get stitches. So every time you take a shower, you rub your hand over that, that scar, and you feel it and you remember. So coexisting with the trauma means that you recognize that it is there. It's as a memory. The muscle remembers it and everything. But it's understanding that every person you see with the knife is not going to cut you. It's about not letting the trauma and the wounds that are from the past depict who you are now and how you treat people, how you move through life. That's the coexistence. That's really the true healing, because some things cut so deep, it's not going to go away to where you don't remember it anymore. There are different things that will trigger that memory. And it's understanding and having the discernment to know that you're being triggered. And when you can have that discernment and know that you're being triggered, then you are now in control of how you respond to it, because you know that it's just a trigger. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are about to get hurt again. And because you were hurt doesn't mean that you have to go through life hurting other people and trying to break them down because you're broken inside. So that's just something to, remember. Like the wounds and the scars that are left with us, that trauma really is energy. It's an energy. And remember, energy can't be created or destroyed, but it can be changed, and so you can, that memory that you have, of that wound, you can transform that energy into an energy that actually works for you. And sometimes it really is just like, damn, I survived that. I'm a survivor, not a victim of anyone, and sometimes that is just the transformation of that energy, just knowing that you made it through it, and it doesn't mean that, I made it through the stabbing and now I'm about to go around the rest of my life paranoid, thinking everybody got a knife and everybody's gonna cut me with it. Now, yeah, you hold that knife up a certain way or you act in a threatening way. Yeah, okay, I remember, you know what I'm saying? And so let me step back, and see what you're going to do, see if I need to defend myself, but I don't have to walk around in a constant state of defensiveness, you know, in order to protect myself. We're all given, you know, discernment. It's called red flags. And we just choose to ignore them because that's not what we want to believe about people. And sometimes it's not even a flag, it's a whole tarp on the field, and we just go walk over the tarp, and walk to our own self destruction, due to a lack of healing within us. See, that those wounds, it's like this domino effect, though. You can get hurt in one way by one thing in one person, and it will cause this domino effect inside you, where you can feel worthless, you have a lack of confidence in yourself, you don't love yourself, you don't feel like you're worthy of love. Like that one thing can, cause so much, to like just unravel inside us, and what we have to, we really have to learn that it's all energy. At the end of the day, it's all energy, and we can always transmute energy to work for our good. We don't have to stay in the place of the remembrance, of that wound and thinking everybody's gonna do that to you. We could actually pay attention to the red flags, even though now we got feelings for a person. We could do that, and that would save us a lot of pain and heartache, and it's hard to take that, that road sometimes. That's the road less traveled, and that is a hard choice to make sometimes, to get on that road that's less traveled. That's why it's less traveled. Nobody wants to get on it, because it isn't always easy. But I will tell you that taking that road does create ease within yourself eventually, because you don't have to suffer through whatever those red flags were. You're always protected. We don't go into anything like blind. You'll get a feeling about something. People show you who they are. They really do right off. They show you who they are. Yeah, we all come out with that representative, at first. But, that representative, if it's truly just a representative and it's not really who the person is, there's going to be cracks in that, in what they're presenting to you. It's an unstable foundation. I mean, if it's a representative, it doesn't even have a foundation, so it's going to crumble. So we are always able to see that. We have natural discernment. Remember, we are divine beings that create worlds. So, and the universe is always working out for us. So the universe is not finna put nothing in your life and not give you some type of warning for it. You just got to pay attention. And then you have to respond appropriately to the warning and not be afraid. Don't be afraid to be with yourself. It's you. So how can you want someone to come in and be with you if you can't even be with you? You want unconditional love. You want somebody to love you despite all the shitty shit about you, but you don't even love you despite all the shitty shit about you. You just keep attracting shitty shit into your life and allowing it into your life and being shed upon. And now you're the victim. And it's a woe is me. You are in control of you. You are in control of who's in your life and what type of interactions you have with people. So we need to remember that, and we need to remember that the healing journey really is a journey to rediscovering your inner child, the child that you were before this world broke you down and separated the mind, body, and spirit from itself. As a kid, you weren't worried about your worth. the things like that, or love or whatever. You just existed as you were. And little by little, the world and people around you start to break off pieces of who you are and send them scattering into the wind. And so the healing journey is grabbing those pieces out of the wind and putting yourself back together. That's what the healing is. Getting in touch, being that inner child again. Being that child now, and exuding that free spirit that didn't care what anybody thought. You know, as a kid, you only knew to be you. That's it. So, let's remember that about our journey. And let's remember that, you know, time doesn't necessarily heal all wounds. You do. And even when a wound is healed, there is still a scar that is left there. And we must learn to coexist with our scars and not allow them to trigger us or allow us to be a certain kind of person just because of that scar. Now, that is true healing at its finest. Peace, family.